Pakyuke kodan dagi lo, pakyuke sundan dagi nga, pakyuke tukdan dagi yi, tenyerme chikto chingi lo. Makyuke kodan dagi lo, makyuke sundan dagi nga, Chikto chinge lo Om Muni Muni Mahamuni Shakya Muni Soha Mahamuni Shakya क्या hacer? Shakya Muni Swaha Om Muni Muni Mahamuni Shakya Muni Swaha Shakya Muni Swaha. Sangye Chodan Soge Chonam La Chancho Pardo Dani Kyapsuch Dagi Jinso Gibe Sonam Ki Drola Pinchira Sangye Druparash Sangye Chodan Soge Chonam La Chancho Pardo Dani Kyapsuchi Dagi Jinso Gibe Sonam Gi Drola Pinchira Sangye Druparash Sangye Chodan Soge Chonam La Chancho Pardo Dani Kyapsuchi Dagi Jinso Gibe Sonam Ki Drola Pinchira Sangye Druparasho. In the Buddha, Dharma and Sangha, I take refuge unto enlightenment. Through the practice of generosity and the other perfections, may I attain Buddhahood for the benefit of all sentient beings. Haye ke da ludan chen ke drubundana mi ke na da druwa kun ke ran tamche ke do da ge cheten. Good evening. Let's imagine we have something that we put it on balance. Okay? So we have a center and then we have an object and it's perfectly balanced. Okay. In our life, I believe that from what I see, we have mainly 3 points. On one side, we have what we may call that is our environment. So if we are in balance in our life or not, the environment in which we are, which is not only the place or the weather, but it's also the people and the context and the situations and everything around, it has a big influence in our life, right? We cannot say that we are not influenced by the environment and the other people and what the situations we go through. Actually, it's just one small situation change, our balance already, we lose it quite fast. On the other side of the scale, let's say, what we have is our own body. And our body actually influences our life very, very much. There are many states, emotional states that we think that are because of conditions and situations, but these are just basically processes of our body that we don't know how to interpret. And we end up trying to find a reason and pointing the finger into something, And our body very strongly has influence on our mental state, on our life. So, are we influenced, our state of happiness or suffering, is it influenced by the environment? Yes. By the people with whom we are, by the place where we are, by the energy of the place, I always tend to think, for example, when we are living in a big apartment, I mean not the apartment itself, but a big building with many apartments. You have someone living up, someone living down, someone on the right side, someone on the left side, and many apartments up, many down. So imagine what happened when one person gets angry, and then the energy of the anger, somehow we can feel it. Then this goes to the other, that goes to the other, and when we see there is insatisfaction and all of this, we are influenced somehow by many, many ways. So we are influenced by the environment. This is something that it's very clear. On the other side, we are very much influenced by our body. You can see, just by eating the wrong thing, your emotions can change. The way how you feel can change. According to how are your hormones, your life changes. And our body has a very strong impact on our life. Actually, I believe much higher than what most of us actually do believe. Because most of the times when we experience well-being or suffering that is connected to the unbalance of the body, instead of recognizing that it's coming from an unbalance of the body, we tend to project into the environment and see that something is wrong, instead of simply understanding, acknowledging that there is an issue with our own body that we need to take care. It's like sometimes we are more sensitive, sometimes we are less sensitive. And this is not only an issue of woman and menstrual cycle, this is something to do with everyone. We all are influenced by the different aspects of our body. Okay? So first of all, we want to be well, we want to be happy. That's what we all want. And to do that, we need balance in our life. So environment is influential, and our body, it's also influential. But when we put this metaphor, there is a center. And this center is our mind. Because we can have the best environment with a healthy, balanced body. But if the mind is unhealthy, then we are living in hell. We can go through extreme suffering. Even though the environment is beautiful, there are nice and kind people loving us, everything is okay, we don't miss anything. And then on the other side, we have a healthy body and everything is okay somehow, mostly fine. But if the mind is unstable, it's unhealthy, then we cannot be well. On the other side, if the environment is not good and the body is unhealthy, even though it's very difficult, it's still possible to have a healthy mind, which will bring a state of more harmony and well-being. There are many stories that we can go through, but this would make things very long, of people that they had unhealthy body, difficult environment, but still they were in peace and they were well and they were happy. One of the examples for me has always been Rinpoche, Lama Michel. I have seen him in many conditions where his body was not well, where the environment was not easy, and there he was smiling. And if you ask, do you have pain? Yeah. But he was always maintaining his peace because his mind was very healthy. Let's put in these words. Okay? So this is one first point, which is important for us to remember. It's like if we have this object and suddenly there is a problem in the environment and it starts falling that way, if the mind is healthy and flexible, it moves and then it creates balance again. And then it goes, the problem is somewhere else, then it can move again and can always create balance. If we have a healthy mind, we are able somehow to deal with the situations and always maintain our own balance. So, is environment important? Very much. Is the body important? Very important. But is the mind important the most of all? So we cannot say, oh, forget about the environment, forget about the body, all I need to do is take care of the mind. I'm sorry if I put in this word. Most of us are not ready for that. Okay? There are people that have this level of, let's so-called attainments. But most of us, we are very influenced by the environment, by the body, so we need to take care of both. But actually we need also to take care of our mind. Because most of the times we take care of the environment, we take care somehow of the body, not so much, but yes. And the mind, we just feel that is a consequence of all the rest. When actually it's not like that. Okay? Sure, the environment is very important. And we need to take care of it. We need to do as much as we can to make a good environment. But it's impossible to make our environment perfect. First of all, what is one of the main parts of the environment? People and sentient beings, generally speaking. And we can put all the effort of the world, we will never be able to make people around us perfect, according to our expectations. Never, ever. No one ever could, and I don't think anyone would ever be able to do it. So we cannot make the environment perfect around us. That's simply not possible. It doesn't matter how much effort we put, what situations we create, there will always be some difficulty here or there, something will be happening. We don't need to enter into details now why. There are some philosophical explanations of that regarding karma and other things, but that's not the moment for that. The fact is that we can put as much effort as we try, we cannot make the environment surrounding us perfect. Our body, Rinpoche used to say sometimes that our body, he said, I listened him saying a few times, he said, the body is the worst friend. Because it doesn't matter how much you give to the body, you take care, and the body back to you, it's always giving the opposite. The other day I was listening that we start to age when we are 28, neurologically. Basically, we fully developed neurologically when we are 21, and then we start to get old when we are 28. So the tendency of our body, naturally, is that of decay, degeneration. That's the nature of the body. So it doesn't matter how much we do for the body. Childhood has its problems, teenage have its problems, being an adult have its problems, getting old has its problems. The body, it's not perfect. So we cannot reach truly a state of well-being by trying just to create harmony and try to make balance between environment and body. But that's what many of us do. And until we do that, we will continue to live our lives as if we were victims of the world. We believe that our own inner state, our suffering or our happiness, depends on the conditions that surround us. Instead of understanding that we are the creators of the reality that we experience. And for me, I have seen examples, as I was saying before. Rinpoche has been for me a very clear example of that. Of people that actually they are well. It doesn't matter where. No? Today I received one message I'd like to share with everyone. I just connected. Because another great being which I met, many of you have met, was Nyima Tulku, Nitu Rinpoche. And he sent me a message today. He was saying, maybe you can listen to the message. Let me see. because his voice is so nice. And sometimes he sends messages. Today he sent me a message. Let me see. Oh, that's not the first message, right? Here. Anyhow, you don't understand, so it doesn't make much difference. So basically he's saying that he is thinking about us. So he's saying, oh, I'm thinking about you. He finished one sort of retreat. And then he said, oh, I have passed some time since we talked and since Rinpoche passed away. And how are you? How is everyone? I'm praying for you. I'm thinking about you. No? But Nyima Tulku is another person, which is an example of someone that, is just, out of his own inner balance. And we have had this opportunity to meet people like this, which is a way to show for us that actually this is something possible. And we could have many, many examples, but just to conclude this part, then I asked Nitu Rinpoche today, and I said to him, oh Rinpoche, I would like to go there and talk to you personally, but this time is difficult, all of this. So here we are all quite well. We are fine, actually, in the whole context. And thank you that you pray for us. Please continue to do. And then also, please, when we have the inauguration of the temple, maybe next spring, please come again. No? So he didn't say yes and he didn't say no. He said, oh, I'm always thinking about all of you, and I will always be happy to serve all of you. That's what he said. No? So this was, for me, somehow saying yes. So then after we will see formally how that happens. No? Anyhow. The point is that we are made out of habits. And as Buddha Shakyamuni said, and Rinpoche repeated often, Danyi dagi gönyayin, danyi dagi drayayin. I am my own protector. I am my own enemy. And at every moment, everything that we do, we are shaping our existence. By the choices we make, by the actions we do, by the thoughts we have, we are constantly shaping our existence. But even by the food we eat, it's not something like, oh, we can change our life, like you can, we can make a course, you can change your life. No, you cannot change your life. You are constantly changing your life. You don't have no choice. Something incredible would be, I will teach you how not to change your life. How possible? That's impossible, actually. We are constantly in movement. We are constantly changing ourselves. The main question is, how do I do to change myself with awareness in the direction that I put for myself? Because most of us, we are constantly just in a process of transformation without any awareness. Basically, we react to situations, to places, we look for pleasure, we try to avoid suffering, and like this we go walking, we try constantly to satisfy our own self-gratification in many ways. And that's how we move on. But we are mostly influenced by two forces: the past and the present. When we make our choices in the present, what I feel and what I do, mostly I'm doing this because that have happened. You have said this, so I say this. You have done that, so I do this. This have happened, so I do this. So very, very often what we do in the present, the force that guides us is our past. or are immediate reactions of the present. Okay, I'm not feeling good, I look for something to make me feel good. I'm feeling, I enjoy drinking the water, how I can get more water, or whatever. So very often the two main forces that guides us in our life is our past and the present. When actually, in order to be able to transform ourselves in a conscious way, the main force that should guide our life is the future. Okay? And then we will go to that. The past is gone. The present, it's how we relate to it. But the main force that should guide every action we do is actually the future. Why I do this like this is not because of the past, it's because of the future. And this is something that it's very important for us somehow to understand and apply in our lives. Okay? So, Rinpoche always liked saying so in the beginning, because ngal so. So means to regenerate, no? In Tibetan. Anyhow, so. One thing I added in Italian is that one of the ways of seeing, no, it's one of the, how do you say, one of the marks, one of the signs, if a person is a mature person or is an infantile person, is if the person is victimizing himself or herself, is infantile. Could you ever imagine Rinpoche saying, oh, I am like this because he did that and that thing happened because many years ago, when I was in my homeland and then I needed to go away from Tibet in 63 and I went through this and it was too hot in India and now I have my headache and this and that. Could you ever imagine? It's impossible, in all these many years, 30 years, whatever, near to Rinpoche, I never listened, not even one time, victimizing himself or complaining about someone in this way. That's a sign of a mature person. So here, just to think, do I want to be infantile or mature? Which example I want to follow? That's on our hand. So, the question is, how can I be guided from the future instead that from the past and the present? Because are we influenced by the past? Are we conditioned by the past? Very much. The past and the present are the resources that we have. Okay? It's like if I ask you how much money you have. The money that we have now is the result of the past. How much I have worked, how much I have spent, how much I have earned. So what I have now, it would come from my past. Okay? The question is, what do I do with that? It shouldn't be a reaction of the past. Sure, it's conditioned, but it's limited by the past. But the question is, where do I want to go? Who do I want to be? No? If we use the metaphor of money, I want to buy a big house. I don't have enough money now, so I need to save money every month. Why? Because I want to buy a big house. So my choices in the present are made by which force? By the future. I imagine myself in a big house with a lake view. Okay? So, and I have an idea more or less what I need to be able to get that house, so I put money aside. I don't go to the restaurant. I don't buy a present here or there. I try to do everything I can to put money aside, not because of a need of the present, but because of an objective of the future. Okay? And when we have a clear objective in the future, this will guide our actions of the present and will determine our way of acting in the present. And this is one of the fundamental aspects in Buddhism. one of the first prayers that we did today and that we do all the time. In Buddha, Dharma and Sangha, I take refuge into enlightenment. To the practice of generosity and the other perfections, may I reach Buddhahood for the benefit of all sentient beings. So what is my ultimate goal? I want to help others. In order to do that, I need to become a Buddha. In order to become a Buddha, I will practice generosity, morality, patience, and so on. So, I am in a certain situation. Okay, let's make another example still. We have relations with people. Family, friends, lovers, guru, whatever. We have many types of relations in our life. So let's take, for instance, imagine one person with whom you have a relation. And you ask yourself, what type of relation I want to have with this person? Oh, I would like very much always to have a relation based on love, a relationship where there is a lot of trust, where there is true caring for each other, when one person can truly be sincere with the other, where there is no bad feelings in between, and so on. Okay? Do you like to have this type of relationship? I would say yes. So, are we there already? Most probably not yet. But that's the relation that we want. And if we are there, we want to keep it that way. So at a certain moment, you are with that person, and that person says something or do something that you don't like. Where the reaction to the present moment, maybe the person acts with aggression. And the reaction on the present moment would be to react in the same way. So if you forget about the future, you just think of the present, you react with aggression. But if you have your objective of the future very clear, you ask, acting with aggression will help me to get my objective of having a relationship of trust and so on, or will harm that objective? Will harm that objective. So I do not act like this. Instead, I breathe in, breathe out, wait a moment, and I try to react in a different way to understand the need of the other instead of reacting bad against the other. Why? Because my future is important. I understand that if I eat something, it will harm me on a long run. But I am in front of that food and I really like it. But my health in the future is important, so I don't eat it in the present. So in Buddhism, one of the main parts is what we call so-called renunciation or bodhicitta, which is believing that we can develop ourselves, we can become someone that it's really stable and peaceful and that has wisdom and it's in total harmony with everyone. We believe that that's possible. But the only way that we will be guided by the future is by believing that that future is possible and by desiring deeply that future. Otherwise, we will not put energy into that future. No? If I want to be a person that is very patient, and I am in a certain situation, how will I react? Cultivating patience or reacting with anger because this and that happened? What have happened is gone. What I do now will determine what I will experience tomorrow. So we should act in the present not as a result of what have happened, but as a cause to what we want to become. Is it clear? Okay? It's not so easy in a practical level, but it's not even impossible, okay? But we need to bring that to us again and again. Okay? I act in the present not based on as a result of what I am, but I should act in the present as based on what I want to become. This is what makes the whole difference. Because when I have a clear direction and I act in accordance, I will gradually create the causes to become. I will transform myself gradually into that direction. I will give a direction to my life. And this will bring me there. And then there are different methods that we can apply into that process. But we need to remember that it's a process that is gradual. It's not something immediate. But first thing, it's fundamental. Make clear what I want. What is the future that I imagine for myself. And that I believe that is possible. And I really want it so much. Then I will allow it to guide myself in the present. Otherwise not. Because the main force that guides us truly is desire and aversion. Does a Buddha have attraction? Does a Buddha have aversion? I would say yes. If a Buddha didn't have attraction, Buddha would have no love. He would not be attracted by the happiness of others. If a Buddha had no aversion, a Buddha would have no compassion. He would have no aversion for the suffering of others. You say, happy, happy, suffer, suffer, doesn't matter, it's all the same. While what is taught to us is that the Buddhas, what they want is to act for the benefit of others, which means they are attracted by happiness and they are aversion to suffering and to the causes of suffering. So they act into that direction. So these forces are very strong in our lives. The question is, what do I want and what do I want to avoid? That's one of the main issues. But we need to start by understanding, by believing, so that we can develop this strong desire, this passion for our future. And if we are not able to imagine ourselves in the future in a certain way, if we don't have an objective that is higher than just the survival, comfortable survival, then difficultly we will be able to be guided by the future and we will just be a result of our reactions of the past and the present. Okay? So, the point is, how do we actually generate the desire for a future? Because the whole point is we will put energy in what actually we want, or to avoid something we don't want, which is basically two manifestations of the same. But it's two forces, attraction and aversion. They are extremely strong inside us, and they will determine what we do, what we don't do. So the whole point is actually developing clarity of what I want and what I don't want. That's the main question. Truly speaking, what do I want? A comfortable samsara or I want nirvana? Truly speaking. How do we know what we want? By looking upon what we do. What do I choose? I meditate or I have breakfast. I am hungry. What is more important? To take away my hunger and have a comfortable, nice morning because I really like my tea? Or to cultivate merits and familiarize my mind with bodhicitta to reach enlightenment? That can come later. It's a long path. You know? I'm sorry. But the question is, what do I really want? Like the sixth Dalai Lama said. If I desired enlightenment as much as desire woman, I would have already been enlightened. Because when we have passion for something, we make it happen. We put our energy into it, or not. When we have true passion for something, we want it so much, we will put our energy into it. And one of the greatest problems that I see in our modern times is that we lost passion for the future. We are satisfied with a comfortable present. That's all. You know? Like, somehow if we make little change, the Romans used to say, if you have bread and circus, then people are happy. Just give them bread and circus, no? Nowadays we have pizza and Netflix, Which is also, it's even worse than in the past, because nowadays you give pizza and Netflix, and by that you give junk food, and you make people eat badly, so you can sell the medicine, and the whole machine comes on. Anyhow, that's another subject. The point is that, what do I want? Truly. Okay. Are we able, just by our own strength, to choose what we want? No. We are very influenced. Why does advertisement work? Because I show you that picture 1 time, 2 times, 3 times, 10 times. I want. It's good. Our mind works on connections and making connections, basically. Like one time I remember, I was still a kid, but I got shocked by the manipulation that was behind this advertisement. I was in Brazil, and I saw this long advertisement only showing very beautiful images of nature. Really beautiful images of forest and birds flying and waterfalls, very beautiful, with a nice music behind. And then in the end of the advertisement just came the logo with the written Shell. Then next time you go and you see Shell, what's the connection that the mind makes? Environment. Nature being taken care, so beautiful. So, this is one part. We are influenced. We are not able truly to desire something if we're not influenced to desire it. That's why we have Lamrim teachings. That's why we meet gurus. That's why we have images of Buddha. So this is advertisement somehow. He's saying to us, look, this is what you can become. We would say that our guru is like our, how do you say in modern terms, you have the testimonials, no? Like people that they show that they are, this is it. We shouldn't put the guru, like Rinpoche, as some sort of God that is unreachable. The reason why Rinpoche come in this body, I truly believe Rinpoche had no need to manifest himself in a gross body. The reason is why? To show to us that we can be like that, to make an example. And try to help us to develop that desire. When we look at all these images, all the Mahasiddhas, they're not gods to whom we should pray, oh Mahasiddha Darikapa, oh Mahasiddha Virupa, please do this to me, please I need that. They are there to show us what we can do, the potential that we have, so that we develop this strong passion and desire for enlightenment. Because we will only desire something when we know it is possible. So, if we would need to make a publicity, an advertisement of Buddhism, I would make it more or less like this. No? At least I think this is the one that would catch me. Imagine yourself, the life that you have, your family, the same people. Imagine your job, no change. No, imagine the environment, the conditions, the financial situation, your health. But allow yourself for a moment to imagine that you experience your life with harmony. That you experience your life without ever being in conflict with others. That you do not project an idealized reality and you don't get upset when it doesn't correspond with your own projections and expectations. Imagine that you are able to see the interdependence on everything. And by that you are in harmony with everyone and with everything. Imagine that you can feel love and connection to everyone that you meet and everyone that you see. And you are overwhelmed by peace and bliss. You have infinite inner space. There are no worries, there is no sadness. Do we want it? You know? You can get it, but you cannot buy it with money. You need to buy it with meditation. You need to get it with correct behavior. We need to act in accordance to get there. I want to be satisfied, so let's not cultivate insatisfaction. And so on. That's what the Dharma is about. It's cultivating our qualities to become a Buddha. Why? Because truly we want to help others. That's the motivation that I don't say we should, but that's the best motivation to generate. But now it's too late to go into this whole thing. Maybe these next days we can continue. But we must first develop this desire. So these days that we are making the meditation on Guru Yoga, when we allow ourselves just to sit down and to experience the state of Guru Buddha. It's interesting because some people, when they imagine that they become inseparable with Buddha, with Guru Buddha, they feel like they pollute Guru Buddha. Somehow, I over my mind with Guru Buddha, then Guru Buddha becomes impure. Because we mix the two together. But it's the other way around. We are overwhelmed by the greatness. Basically, because if there is love, anger cannot continue to be there. If there is satisfaction, insatisfaction cannot continue to be there. And so on. So when we mixed with Guru Buddha, his great qualities overwhelm ours. And we allow ourselves to go a little bit away, to go beyond our ordinary appearance, and we allow ourselves to experience that state. To imagine what would be if I was a Buddha now. Imagine yourself there. It's like if you look at the advertisement of a beautiful car and you imagine yourself driving it. Or you see a clothes that you like and you imagine yourself dressing that clothes and going to the party or whatever. Allow yourself to imagine yourself in that state and to experience it through imagination. I am Guru Buddha. And how do I know what is a Buddha? Through my own Guru. He's showing me his qualities, his stability, his joy, and everything as Rinpoche showed us so clear. So when we allow ourselves just to mix together and to be that, this is showing us the direction that we should go, and that actually it is possible. Then when we get out of the meditation, okay, now I need to practice perfection of generosity, patience, and everything to become like that. But that's what I want. I want to be always like that. If we're able to develop this passion, the rest will come quite spontaneously. But it's very, very important for us to develop this passion first of all. And by that to be guided by the future and to have to hold the reins of our life in our own hands and to give the direction in this way. Okay. So this is mostly what I wanted to share today. Maybe in the next days we can have other occasions. Maybe to share more about also how to do the process on a very practical level, because time passes and we need to do something about it. We cannot let our life just go by. Okay? But please focus well on the meditation, on the part of one's mind being inseparable of the mind of Guru Buddha. and understanding that once we are able to experience that true peace, is something that we can actually reach in a way with stability, something that is actually possible. Okay? So we do now our final dedications. Jetsu lame kutse rapten chi namkar tinle chochur gepadang losan tempe dreme sasum ki drove munsel takto Negyorchi. We do the swift return prayer briefly. Dechen gyabo lama heru kaya, dechen tarba chege shayene, dechen tapshe ngete nimbe chen, dechen yabyon sungge da kyonzo, losan tembe ninche sipe mi, tupten degye zime kyon yampor, Trinle drove mari mimpa chon, shemben le dre yarpe ngumbrato, Gongyo pawo pamu tsonam gi meto dudan rolmo yerkedre kala chepe tsugi shikshintu dacha dungwe suldebe yutsamgom shiwe kui drowa dzumgi su shiwe songi chedra nawaraje shiwe tuni shembe jamse shi shide semba chimbo nyurjun sho Tupten dutsi nimbe shemben chu semche rarang kamda mungoru Dugu tsimze druban rinpoche rime drove ninchi nyurchun sho Druban kyonyi drove shidre tsun daso namkyan shide tuntu nyer Chisi drova shide troncho Tesi kyosha tunso chi dacha remu chishin drupala Lama kuncho sumge tujinda Kebra tensun dorje shukdense Namshi trinle maye tongdrozo Kewa kundu yanda lama da Drame cheki pela longche ching Sadan lamge yunte rabzone Dorje change kopa nyurtop Sho chancho semcho rinpoche Ma ke panam ke gyuruchi Ke pa nyambra me payang Kongne konto pelwaresh Nimo dele tsendele Nime kuyan dele kshin Nintsen taktu delekpe Koncho sum ki jingi lo Koncho sum ki ngo drubot sol Koncho sum ki trashishon At dawn or dusk, at night or midday, may the three jewels grant us their blessings. May they help us to achieve all realizations and sprinkle the path of our lives with various signs of auspiciousness. Sem Chosudro, Che Lam Tudro, Lam La Parce, Mion Warsho. May the mind become the Dharma. May the Dharma become the path. May the path be free from interferences.